3 now with a 2-0 lead for the dominating Ole Miss. That last game, I felt like OC had better moments in the early game, but it's all the same when Shogo ends up getting 14 kills in a game.
Yeah, when Shogo has half of the gold lead and the entire gold lead is 14,000, it's probably not a great game. Now, your odds are probably not particularly high. And another game where I think Marty individually kind of didn't have to stand out mechanically speaking. Aurelion Sol is not the champion that I'm asking for a ton of mechanics on. I think you can just drool on the keyboard and you're probably getting a double kill at some point. But he played really, really well. I think his attention to side lanes was really, really important. And this is 2 games now where he's had champions that have access to being able to move out of the side lane very quickly. First it was Twisted Fate, now it was Aurelion Sol, and his Aurelion Sol was really good, like really good after losing in qualifiers.
Yeah, like honestly, he looked amazing on that champion. But like I said, it's also hard to stand out, even if when you do well, if you have a player that's getting fed like Shogo was on Aphelios, because that's kind of the whole idea, right? Is that you're supposed to create a lot of space with this Aurelion Sol, and he did a great job. It's something that we will keep praising Uncle Sam for, and how much he has grown coming in just from this year alone. Like,
for sure.
Even forget about last year. Just this year, every single month he's gotten better and better. So I'm really impressed with this mid lane talent from Ole Miss.
I mean, last year he was a straight up liability. Like, this guy was straight up losing games for this team, and it was enough of a problem that he himself recognized. Like, okay, I need the individual coaching. I need to make sure that I'm on top of my game, because I mean, I'm sure, like, as fun and loving as Marty can be on his stream and online, he is definitely dedicated to the craft, and he wants to be better. He always talks up a big game about wanting to be one of the best mid laners in North America, and it only starts from, can you actually reflect that in your actual gameplay on stage? Maybe in scrims, you can have those games where Marty is just popping off, he's taking out his pocket Akshan, he's winning on Orianna, but his laning, and right now, I think his map understanding are at an all-time high for him, and really peaking at the right time when they need him. Didn't work for them too well in, promotion tournament, but obviously I think may want to try to get a collegiate championship instead.
Hey, that's a good step for the next time, right?
Yeah,
when you're
exactly.
in those open qualifiers.
Just
it's
win
not
in
like
summer.
they're going to go away. So exactly. Just win in summer, and if you win Collegiate League of Legends, that would also be huge because Maryville's here. A team that is already in the NACL, got second place in playoffs. So if they were somehow able to win this all, that would be a huge boon for the entirety of this team to really say, hey, this is going to be the next great collegiate team. Even if they end up getting all the way to the finals and make it a really close series, say, against Maryville, I'd still be impressed. But got to do that all the same. You have to still win those games. And right now, Ole Miss haven't dropped any of them, and they are looking really strong here against OC. So I kind of wonder, is there anything at all that OC can do to possibly get a game 3 win? Game 3 win.
Like, you know the Scion's coming out, right?
Yeah.
So you can either say, we're probably going to lose bottom lane matchup regardless, right? Like, we've now given them Aphelios versus Jinx. We've had Draven versus Aphelios. I think understanding that any bot lane pair that they get is probably going to be oppressive either way, we really should just be focusing on making sure that our solo lanes are really comfortable here, because this is another game where I think Emps really fell short of the ball here, and top lane, unfortunately, Gorilla Jones did get lane swapped on, and he had some okay performances, but was not really in a position to do anything. And when we've seen OC succeed in the past, it has been through both Gorilla Jones and Ajosu being at an okay rate. And Ajosu this time was okay because of the lane swap, but if we're going to do this again, you need some way to hamper this swapping mechanism. Whether that is just sending multiple people to try to bum rush a turret, you got to do something, because all these strategies are just hampering you time and time again.
Well, like you said, Stray has played Scion in 2 of these, both the past 2 games. We had Gorilla Jones versus Jax and then Rumble, but when you have that lane swap happen, those are champions that need that gold. They need the standard 1v1s if they want to start getting a better position earlier into the game, so they can have that scaling. They can start getting those items to really be a terror.
It's going to be super strict. Like, if we get like a Gorilla Jones game where he's playing Darius and it's like kind of fun. Kled? Could be Kled. Like, literally any champion. It's to a point where the counter pick would be cool, but will you actually be able to execute on it come game day, right? Like, Stray has now played 2 games of Scion. We've seen those solo kills happen. We see him be a rock in the top lane. you kind of are asking your other members to step up, because I think that Gorilla Jones and Ajosu are stretching themselves a little thin and having to overplay in situations because of the deficit they find themselves in.
Yeah, so I'm definitely looking at this game 3 and going to look at the draft just to see if they're doing anything different, if maybe just stop hitting all the champions from Shogo, because Shogo, you're banning these champions, but it's not like you can't play other ADCs. You're just taking away the ones that have been really oppressive in all the other collegiate leagues and the conferences leading up to this point. And if you're banning all those, and Shogo just like, fine, I'll play Draven, fine, I'll play Varus if you leave that open, fine, I'll play Caitlyn, because who cares? I'm just going to win on this anyways. What's the point? Why not take away some of the other lanes and try to get other people in a more comfortable position?
And this is why we also came into this matchup saying this was going to be a stylistic mismatch for the side of Oklahoma Christian. One where you're trying to gain an advantage through top side. Well, Stray is just someone who is so excellent on bruisers. You're trying to make a play through bottom lane. You're playing against probably the best number 1, number 2 bottom lane in all of collegiate. Potentially, you could even maybe make an argument for outside of qualifiers, could be one of the best. It's just such a tough one to kind of swallow as OC, especially so early on in the bracket, right outside of double elim.
Rhino also, I think, is looking really good in this series too, and how he set up a lot of these plays for Shogo, really pretty much spoon-feeding him at some points. Like, here you go, Draven, eat up, have these kills. And then that last one, here you go, fellas, eat up, enjoy all the bountiful harvest I've gotten for you as we get into Game 3, our draft here. And I see that we still have OC on the blue side, Ole Miss on red. I wonder if we will see the bans really shake up a little bit.
Yeah, there's also, just talking about Rhino in general, he has been one of the most consistent members, bar none. Like, if we're talking about, like, Shogo as well, even before Shogo, Rhino was one of the members that was on this CLOL roster last year.
Yeah.
And he was one of the better players. Like, we were talking about a team that did have a Legacy and Nem9 up in top lane. Nem9 was one of their standouts. He definitely gained leads through top lane. He was one of the best top laners in collegiate, but unfortunately they fell short there. Woo! It is warm in my room. I'm dying.
I feel you on that one. It was raining last night, and now it's like super sunny and bright here in California. Very weird weather, but not seeing very weird bans. We're seeing everything the same at the moment. Glissa Draven by OC, Skarner Talia by Ole Miss, and I wonder if they're just going to go and ban that Varus again by OC, grab the Jinx if it's left open by Ole Miss.
So, yeah, are they going to ban Jinx? Do we see a Scion ban, or maybe they try to take away this champion? There are a lot of low priority top laners that we've seen. Really, even during MSI, when we're getting all those lane swaps, we're getting a lot of Ornn in particular, so maybe that's something that Ole Miss could go for, but it feels kind of like that they're in a checkmate situation where if they don't ban this, you're obviously going to lose bot lane anyway. Now we get that Scion ban. What is Ole Miss adaptation here?
I think Ole Miss just grab Varus. I think it's going to be a Jinx Varus handshake between the two teams. Ajosu back onto the Jinx, try to have that hyperscaling, and Ole Miss are going to like, okay, cool. A Varus Ashe bot lane, Shogo and Rhino try to make sure that Ajosu just has the most uncomfortable time in that bot lane.
Okay, they get the Jinx. They could set up for an AD carry here, so Varus available, Ashe as well, things that we've been talking about all of the drafts in this series. Twisted Fate priority, again, could go to Uncle Sam, could be for Stray. We've seen this multiple times. Jax here for Icelandic, I would have to assume. Still have all of that flexibility. And now, Ems, what is your game plan, or Trinket, what is your game plan? Are you going to try to go for another bruiser? Well, Jax is probably going to win in the side, in being able to gain resources. And he has a Twisted Fate that is able to play for him at the same time. So, a lot of options. I love how flexible we're getting, how flexible the draft we're getting from Ole Miss.
I want to even say that there is a possibility Stray is still on that Twisted Fate, and Icelandic takes Jax. That has happened before. Icelandic has played Jax jungle this year, so it's definitely something they could go for, but I'm expecting it to be a Stray on to Jax. Uncle Sam getting Twisted Fate, especially with Orianna for M, something that will have a decent enough time and has a little bit of a wombo combo. Utilize the Flag Drag Cataclysm combo with Jarvan.
Okay. So again, lot of setup with just these two alone for Trinket and Ems. I think is a pretty solid game plan. You have an immobile mid laner or top laner. Really, wherever this Twisted Fate is going to go, he is going to have to deal with a Jarvan jumping on top of him. You have the ball delivery, and then that Jinx reset. So I kind of want to see what OC can do to either supplement more tanks or maybe just a little bit more damage. Probably looking at our top lane role, what Gorilla Jones can pull out here. Probably going to be more focused towards AD Bruiser top laners. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't think it's going to be another Cassante angle. It's probably going to be along those lines of maybe, honestly,
Darius wouldn't be too bad here.
I could see a Garen here.
Garen wouldn't be too bad
really
either.
Fun.
Yeah, Garen, Darius actually thinks is fine too. The spin does actually go through a lot of the things that blocked out of Jax. So that is a possibility. I would have liked this team Kled, but not against the Jax. You don't really want to play that against the Jax. So I'm looking at that Garen, looking at that Darius, but Shogo, I was talking about the Caitlyn. Just go for the ultimate flex here. Be like, all right, we're gonna have the lore combo here, Jinx versus Caitlyn. Okay.
They're getting ready for Arcane Season 2. That's what's coming out. So Jinx Melio, a lot of protection for our AD carry here. And especially for protection versus a gold card versus something like a hook, which is not going to really help in the early game, but when we get into team fights, definitely going to be way more impactful. And now, Gorilla Jones, you got to kind of show your hands. Okay, we're going for Cassante this time. Wasn't super impressed with his Cassante play so far this year, but maybe this is the game that kind of gets him back in. And now for Ole Miss, where are they going to see this Twisted Fate? Where are we going to put this Jax?
They are going to flex it. I did say that was a possibility. They put Icelandic onto Jax, straight onto Twisted Fate, and then put that Azir mid lane, Uncle Sam having that a much better matchup in the mid lane for Ole Miss.
I just think that this is a pretty awful spot to be in as OC. Like, you got some good combos, but you know there's Twisted Fate on the other side. So you're just handshaking one of your better players to take a really bad matchup and say, coming into team fights, maybe we'll be able to do something. I think it's so hard to play this game as a Cassante versus not only Twisted Fate in the lane, you have to deal with Jax as well, and then you get outranged by the two damage carries of Ole Miss. I think Gorilla Jones got left out on an island here, having to blind his top lane, and didn't do any favors with the champion he chose.
Not at all, but it is game 3. It is do or die for Oklahoma Christian University against the Titans of Ole Miss. They're one game away from moving to the top 8, the double elimination part of the bracket for College League of Legends. And they have all grouped up in the spot lane looking for a pick, but seems that OC not about to give it to them. In fact, they're on their own mission, doing their own invade.
We're all invading now. So Emps gets an early ward on outside of his Raptors entrance. Just want to see where enemy jungle is. Neither team spotting each other is pretty good here. Obviously, preventing some early action, but they should know. They should have some idea. They didn't put any vision down, which I think is more worrisome for me. Them not putting something like some early vision from the side of OC. They got like this entrance ward, which if it spots multiple members, then they should know. There we go.
There it is.
Okay.
So now getting that information, be like, okay, they're going this way, but kind of like you were saying, they didn't get that much information.
They're also lane swapping, so this is really good versus the Twisted Fate. This is what I was worried about, and this is how you avoid it. You also avoid the Caitlyn matchup.
Oh, wait a minute.
Now they're going to be in a pretty good spot. Stray has to walk top lane. He doesn't know where enemy jungle is. He knows that they should be on the top side of the map. They don't know that they've been spotted.
I saw that Jinx top lane, so he was about to walk that way and then realized, hey, maybe I can make a play mid lane. Flash gold card onto Emps. No vision.
Oh, red card.
So just going to be a slow. A little bit of damage, throw out the soldiers.
Whoa!
Icelandic, hello!
He stops his Raptors clear there, so it's good for Uncle Sam, it's good for KJ because he gets those kills, but they need to go right back out onto this camp. Right now, Trinket farming up another camp. He's taking Krugs on the opposite side, so splitting this map vertically. Again, another situation where really, really strong for a carry like a Josu. A Gorilla Jones just needs to be able to survive. He's playing Cassante into this side. He has to know that Stray's going to be here. They're pinging it out.
I feel like Emps might be a little salty after that last play, too, because you wouldn't really expect that Icelandic would be there. You saw the Twisted Fate topside, so with the lane splitting happening, you'd kind of think that they'd be paired up together. So you're hugging that wall like, okay, they can't get to me here. And then out of nowhere comes this Jax to get this kill. And now you already have this lead for Icelandic. where they can play around the bot lane, get this nice shove. They're starting to get these plates picked up and make sure that, Gorilla Jones, because he's not with this jungle, not helping out the clear, is going to be a little bit behind, while Josu, even if he does get some gold there from these turrets, the plates, I think it's going to benefit Ole Miss more.
Oh, and I love this. Rhino actually ended up doing this. You are playing Caitlyn, so a little bit more focus about getting plates. Does have the demolish this time around, so was able to help him get that first plate pretty quickly. And they're crushing a pretty big wave, while Gorilla Jones is just not really in range to be able to pick up any of this. And like you were saying, the Jinx picking up this is really good for the side of OC, but they needed to kind of turn this into a real objective. Maybe they're able to grab something like avoid grubs in 2.5 minutes, but for now, Ole Miss getting gold into their AD carry, OC doing the same. I think both teams probably pretty happy with where this game state is, even barring a first blood.
Well, the bigger problem is, to me, with the play where you didn't have Gorilla Jones kind of helping out with clear for Trinket, you don't have nearly as many plates in this top side. There's already the 2 and almost 3 in the spot lane for Shogo. Top lane, we saw that it was 2. Yes, 2 is still going to at least equate it, make it even. But now you have Icelandic who can show up here. Stray's there to help out too, making sure there's not going to be any more that is collected by OC.
He is level 1 Twisted Fate. He is not doing anything but staring at the opponents and praying that they let him farm them.
He is a good target practice.
Yeah. He is there to gain someone's flash. If he can somehow gamble someone's flash out of their inventory, then it's a free win.
Gold card flash, and even if he dies...
Gold card with no damage. Yep, true. Any truers in chat.
Hey. No. Icelandic has the damage. Or Thresh even has the damage.
Oh, yes, Thresh. Known damage champion Thresh. This is one of your arena matches, yeah?
You've clearly never played Rapid Fire, like full crit Thresh before.
Well, I hate Rapid Fire on like 99% of champions, so you're correct.
Yeah, but it's just
I have played AD Thresh.
Like 80 Thresh with the Rapid Fire to get that extra range, get the crit too. So you just 100 to 0 someone with 1 auto attack. So fun.
You know what's not fun?
Losing this game?
Okay, yes. You don't want to know what else is not fun?
Probably sleeping on a bed of nails.
All right. I'm just going to give you the free one then. The third thing that's probably not as fun is having to play lane swaps. You do avoid this. I will say... Still a bit of a winning situation here for Ole Miss, just from the fact that Cassante is going now back into a top lane matchup where, I mean, Stray is not that far behind. Your Uncle Sam really close to level 6 here, trying to threaten. Yeah, he's going for Grasp here, so being a little bit tankier, will have access to probably going for that Frozen Heart. He's going to be very difficult to kill from the side of OC, but talking about the top lane matchup, Twisted Fate is not far behind. He still has all of his summoner spells, and Gorilla Jones has none of them. So if he just gets chased down, he's dead.
I'm just looking for that solo kill on Uncle Sam, but he'll just easily shuffle his way out of there. So I'm just will crash this wave, maybe even get that TP out of Uncle Sam.
Cancel the recall.
If he can cancel it, put the flag down. It does.
Whoa!
Oh, but not the drag, but does cancel the recall. Yeah.
Wait, but that Q went to Super Narnia. Where did it go?
I don't know where that went either.
Alan was a little bit suspect. It's really good delay onto his back timer here. Means he will miss out on about half of this wave.
There you go.
Oh my god, he's going to miss out. He just has to come and collect this now.
Yeah, he has to. He can't. Now he can't leave. Now he has to stay there. But look at how they already are positioning to protect Uncle Sam. Icelandic and Rhino have been called up as reinforcements to now scare away both Emps and Trinket.
A lot of priority onto this bottom side with your Uncle Sam being able to teleport back in. It should mean that if they really want to, Ole Miss can go for the dragon. But with how their lanes are set up and the champions that they want, I actually do think that going for Void Grubs is a much better time. Obviously, Caitlyn's in this game. Twisted Fate being able to get more chip damage, generate more gold. He's a champion that is going to very quickly get out of control in this matchup.
I think Jax is a problem. Twisted Fate is a problem. Caitlyn's a problem if they can get ahead. Everyone always talks about like the item drop that you have is Caitlyn the mid game when you are kind of in an awkward spot wanting to get 2-3 items.
Well, they fixed all her items, so now she doesn't have to build.
Yeah. You beat me to the punch, Dimitri. I was literally about to say, I'm like, but no longer does she have that. Now she actually just needs that item. That's all she really needs, and she'll be fine. As we go to Stray in the top lane, try to get away. Red card, gold card on to Jarvan, but it's not on to Gorilla Jones. Trey cutting out forever. Flash though, Flash interrupting. It'll be a trade of top laners, both dying, with Trinket now scared away by Icelandic. But the attempted play completely thwarted from Ole Miss, still capitalizing. Will we go to the mid lane? Emperor's Divide onto Ems. getting a lot of damage. Shockwave to pull him back in.
He wins
But
this.
still has to be careful. There's enough soldiers there that I think he's going to be too scared.
Okay. Ole Miss, they get that play up in the top side. Yeah, it's Stray going down, but I think you're more than happy with that trade there. Stopping a lot of the Void Grubs going over. Trinket instead having to save his top laner from a potential solo kill there coming out from Stray. That all started with Stray just walking down the Cassante. There's nothing for him to be able to interact with. Now Gorilla Jones here in the mid lane. Icelandic has to be careful. No flash.
Yeah,
He's just going to get out, and it's
call.
going to be 2 Grubs going over to Oklahoma Christian.
I think it's still good from Icelandic to at least gain 1. So they deny the 3. Even if they didn't get all 3 of them for, as you were talking about, Ole Miss with the power that they would have with the Caitlyn and Twisted Fate having it, still having 1 that could set up later if they start getting some plays to work out for the next spawn of those Void Grubs.
So now here for Ole Miss, big thing to note is Stray does have that ultimate available for them. So being in a lane where you have priority, probably going to be looking to push out these waves, harass onto Cassante, and then look for something in mid, because that's the next turret that's available for them.
Ole Miss, though, will collect on the prize that they had been setting up earlier, taking down that first structure. Gold over to Shogo with the flash and Ghost still there. Ghost has been popped, and they are getting a lot of distance, but Ojosu nearly was on top of him with his own Ghost. We go into the top lane. As we see that there's another attempted play. Destiny Gate, gold card, far away from Gorilla Jones, but doesn't matter because Stray easily throws the cards at his face.
And now they even see where Trinket is going to be, so he just says, screw it, instead of going for bottom lane, we got the pressure off of them. They did take our turret, which does lead to OC being able to push out this next wave. Does mean that they're going to start up this dragon. Don't think there's much for Uncle Sam to do here in this situation.
Doesn't have Emperor's Divide either, so...
Yeah, a lot of this is probably going to be him probably just looking to try to cancel recalls, just being a little bit annoying.
Yeah, I think that was the whole idea, was just being there just in case someone decided to back inside of the camp there, saying that, yeah, we're going to get a little bit of something there, delay the game a little bit, because all in all, these plays still are benefiting Ole Miss. They didn't get the Dragon, they didn't get the Void Grubs, but they do have a 2,000 gold lead at 10 minutes.
Caitlyn, we're getting all those plates now. Moving on up towards the top side, you're getting Stray to sit on the bottom lane. That's just, let's see the gold on our 280 carries here.
Yeah, that's what...
700, okay.
They've been uninteractive, though. Like, there hasn't been any interaction between the two, and yet Shogo still has a lead.
Turns out, taking a whole turret gives you a lot of gold.
Yeah.
It comes as a shocker to probably a few people who have never taken a math class, but Shogo is definitely making good on that gold. If you can get another plate, it is 10:30 right now, so 3.5 minutes to be able to get 3 more plates and potentially look towards mid. I think at best they're going to be looking for 2, and then looking for a potential Void Grubs in a few minutes afterwards.
And Snow Mana forced away in that mid lane, allowing Uncle Sam to now rotate towards the bot lane, because OC, they're setting themselves up to get some cash back, get these plates, at least get one of them. Look at how many wards have been placed down by OC. I like this a lot better. They have been slowly learning throughout the game to set up this vision a little bit better to deny the movements out of Ole Miss, so they can't just go to bot lane for free and try to capitalize and put Ajosu far behind. The only problem is they're not doing anything to really stop Shogo either, which means that any other play, as we see there's going to be the stun on a Trinket, denying that burst divide with the shockwave, but that combo does only work if you have damage to back it up.
I mean, both of them just absolutely played that so beautifully. Icelandic coming in from Fog of War, the crowd control that was just on point. It was layered so beautifully coming out from these two, and it only feels right that these two members are some of them that are, you know, leading this Ole Miss victory. Yes, we talk about Shogo. Yes, we talk about his gold lead, and he comes big in team fights. Gorilla Jones, you're probably going to lose this turret.
Not the turret. I think he might lose his life here. That turret is almost dead. That's why he has to all out, trying to escape, getting a lot of damage onto Rhino, but he's got backup. Turret's gone, and there's Shogo. Waiting for you to keep aggressing, keep looking for the plays. You're all out, diving in, not getting the damage. Even if you have Trinket nearby, you're taking a lot of damage yourself with a rocket, getting only pittance of damage onto Shogo.
So what I wanted to talk about there, while we were interrupted by a top laner pretending like he was going to have a chance in the 2v1, was Icelandic and your Uncle Sam, 2 of the only members that stayed on this roster from the 2023 iteration, who have leveled up individually very well, and I think are obviously having a really great time in this series between all of the games that we've seen of them. But I think it's just so awesome to see, especially as 2 players who got 0 offers going into the offseason. When they were coming in, they had no competitive experience, very little of that. Icelandic had some stints over in some ERLs. He played on Dusty for a little bit. Uncle Sam, not really having much for himself. And already, they're stepping into a lineup where they potentially are contesting for top 4, top 2, top 1 even. In qualifiers, they were one of the best teams, most improved for your Uncle Sam. So it's really awesome to see the glow up of these two players coming in from last year, coming into 2024.
Void Grubs, it'll be all 4 now. Oh, not 4, all 3 now making 4 for Ole Miss. That's kind of what I was talking about before. Getting just the 1 at least makes it so that you can get 4, have a bit of an advantage. Still giving that over to Stray, so now they have the Void Grubs that'll spawn whenever they're starting to aggress these turrets. A nice hook with a flay, but the Jumper scared him away to continue that play.
The hook was mostly like a, hey, I'm going to threaten you. I don't think we have the damage quite yet, but it's just mostly there to stop you. Stray now has the ultimate, and Rhino in a bit of a tricky spot. He's in no man's land. He's dead. He gets the flash.
Gonna flash over. Pretty clean flash, clearing out that blue trinket, but like you said, where are you gonna go from here? They can chase you down. You put down a control ward, spot it out, and buy trinket. Has enough time passed that you can get the execute here. I think enough time's passed. Wait, rocket.
Nice,
Ooh,
good
Rhino
respect from Rhino.
Yeah, it was good respect. So it will be the execute.
Also, really funny kind of side note, by him pulling the wave here, it does stop Ajosio and Paralysis from being able to get that wave under the turret. And now they invested a little too much time. Ems, be careful.
This happened twice to you. This time he flashed, made sure that he wasn't going to get attacked that time.
I think Icelandic there, little hesitant on pulling up the flash. Ems obviously uses his. And right before the Dragon 2, a very big win for Ole Miss, as they're not able to get more out of this bottom lane turret. Azir is top lane split pushing right now, and he'll be able to join with his teleport. Really, really excellent map play coming out from Ole Miss, and a great timing too, right before an objective spawns.
Honestly, I think that was still a smart call from Icelandic not to flash, because you know that Ems has the flash. You made that play happen once, right? It's the fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I don't think Ems was going to get caught out a second time from that same play. We already saw like he was pretty hesitant where he was positioning too.
I can't believe that the closest we're going to get to a Kendrick Drake beef is a J. Cole bar. I know it's George Bush, but
yeah, that's not the one I said is an old phrase. I didn't say the wrong one.
I know, but it's close enough. A lot of people who listen to modern hip hop are probably okay. So there's the line in I'm gonna have to hold that. I don't know if we're gonna really fight for this Rift Herald, but there's a Step Brothers quote where it's just like, we don't know what it means, but it's provocative, and it's in the Jay-Z Kanye song. There's a thread on Twitter earlier this week where they were like, I was not old enough to watch Step Brothers, so I don't even know that that's from there. And I'm like, what's wrong with you, dog?
So it's not that old, is it?
It's not that old. I mean, let me actually check. Let me double check, because I feel like...
double check that. Because it could be, nice gold card.
Wait a minute, team fighting.
They found the play, and there goes Gorilla Jones. Way too squishy this early on with the TP already committed by Uncle Sam. They're now peeling back and looking to see if they can siege down this tier 1 mid.
I have horrible news.
What's that?
In about a month's time, if someone was born on the same day as Step Brothers, they would be 16.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
my goodness, as that's going to be Cataclysm with the Wombo combo not even utilized that time around because they don't have Ems nearby. All they can do is delay the inevitable. While top lane, Ems at least getting some cash back for the team while Stray has found him. But I don't know if Stray actually wants this fight.
Stray's got that static shiv. I don't know.
But it's exactly. Static shiv up against Orianna, who has shockwave available. I think will die.
She has no items though, is like the real thing. So she just finished there. Yeah, he also has flash, he still has the ghost. So they're gonna take more and more of these turrets. Trinket coming on through. They need to find something. Something needs to go right for them.
Flag and drag, only hitting one. Into the back line, Gorilla Jones was able to get the pullback with all that flash to wave. Ashogo still alive. The rocket does connect onto Icelandic, but he flashed out of there, and they got the ignite ticking, but somehow Gorilla Jones makes it out, and they got the kill onto Icelandic. Uncle Sam getting a little bit of damage, doesn't have the Shrimmer Shuffle nor the Emperor's Divide, so they'll have to just get out of there with the one casualty.
Okay. Getting that kill onto Icelandic is good, but like you were saying, we're looking at the other side of the map. Stray here with 4 Void Grubs, going to summon some mites. He's going to deal extra damage to this turret, and all in the while, they've now traded. They've gotten 2 turrets during that play, the bot tier 2 and the top tier 2. It's going to make it much more difficult. Funnily enough, despite how this game has gone, this has been more a play of how we've seen both teams interact on a side lane, how they're utilizing these lane swaps, because compared to the other games, this is a really boring one.
Oh no, you didn't want to ride Shelly this time around. They got Rhino already there. Flag and drag out of there, but look at that. Flash with the gold card on a Trinket. Pulled back in as Gorilla Jones is trying to get into the back line on a Shogo. Rhino split up from the team, forced to flash. So low, will heal up with the redemption. But look at Stray. He has fast, and he's got the gold card onto one. No all out there for Gorilla Jones. Instead, it's going to be all these attacks that are doing so much damage out of Shogo.
And no one dies there. Minor misplay coming out from our bottom lane here from Old Miss. He flays him out. Oh, okay.
Goodbye. That shockwave deleting Rhino, but I don't think you needed that for this fight because you lost your jungler. And it's a 1-for-1 trade, jungle for support.
Cool, we killed Rhino, but why are we ever going for that as Trinket? Look at where the rest of your team is. Ajosu is standing behind the Azir turret. Paralysis and the rest of the crew are sitting at the entrance to Raptors. They're never going to be in a position to get this. Yeah, here we go. KJ, is he going to go for it? Does he find it with Counter-Strike?
Doesn't have Flash, though. That's the bigger problem. And Flash was there for Ajosu, so you can jump on top of him all you want. You're just trying to burn the summoner at that point.
Something we were talking that I was talking about right before this fight was, compared to our other games, this has been a relatively tame game. We've been seeing how they're dealing with rotations, but it's 3-6. And compared to our other ones, we're having like 22-10, we're having like 27. This is a much slower paced game in terms of the kills, and I think a lot of that does come from the fact that Ole Miss are playing a lot towards the map. It may be a little bit of that also. OC are playing very, very scared. We haven't seen Trinket and Emps get that cuddle buddy status. They have not been 1 and 2 together. It has been mostly Emps on a side lane by himself. We've seen Trinket try to go for plays, but again, he's playing more of a, I'm here to make sure that we don't lose the game instead of here's a play to try to win us the game.
And that has kind of gone against them. They have scaling, and I think that's the identity that they're trying to really index towards with Jinx or Orianna. But Caitlyn, Azir are scaled just as well. They're going to be just as scary if we get to the late game. And look at the gold difference. It's 6,000 separating the two teams. Stray permanently in the side lane, getting a lot of chip damage onto that tier 3 get on the inhibitor turret. It's past the threshold.
Okay. Gotta see what OC have got. It's the end of their season, potentially, if they lose out here. Impressive enough that a program that had very little backing beforehand. Rhino.
On to Rhino, getting a lot of damage, getting a nice counter-strike, but Rhino is going to be the first casualty. Redemption a little late. It's Trade again. Jungle for the support with the TPs and Trade there.
Whoa, wait a minute, Ajosu.
Look at the damage in the back line. That's going to be all out. One kill, Ajosu trying to chase down Shogo, but now he has realized he's a little bit too far out. Gold card connecting. Nice breath of life to keep him going and to keep him putting out that damage. Zap only onto the minions. 2 for 2. Probably the best situation that OC could hope for.
There we go. It's that mid-game wake-up here for the side of Oklahoma Christian. Ajosu still has Flash. He flashes forward to Shogo.
Goes for it. Shut down. And with Trey not near enough there to get the gold card. Instead, it's going to be on to the support. Flashed. Another kill. It's Amps this time getting credit.
Wow, and Ajosu using the flash there, I think he maybe was afraid that Azir had ultimate again and just trying to get away from that. So it's a small win there, but a huge one for Oklahoma Christian.
Yeah.
As they are able to get so many kills in that fight. It's going to set up Ajosu to be really far ahead, but if we're looking at what's traded here, Ole Miss, yes, they lose 5 members. They're going to grab the Dragon, and there's now a Baron that's up and available. I don't think either team are going to want to try to go for this. Ole Miss, they want to wait for more of their members. They want to pick up a little bit more gold, push out their waves. And for OC, they really want to wait on the timers here for the flash on Ajosu and Emps.
I think this is honestly the best case scenario that OC could have hoped for from that last fight. Yeah, the Dragon falls into the hands of Ole Miss. It's only their second one. It's not that big a deal. It's not even soul point potential. So you have plenty of time, get more scaling. You're now even on items between Ajosu and Shogo. Jinx is the primary focus for the team. And making sure that you've set up Ajosu is going to be critical to this next fight.
Despite having a Twisted Fate in the game, the biggest wild card is always going to be a Jinx. It doesn't matter. She gets 1 kill, and as long as she's in a okay position, doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be great, she will find more resets in a fight. She will always be able to get more damage. Getting excited is one of the most broken stat passives you can get in the game, and Jinx just gets to utilize it so well. Just a bit of a gambit now. I think we're going to have some breathing time here as both teams, they're going to take defensive postures, they're going to look for some vision, but this is still not all that. This is the closest gold lead we've had at 22 minutes between these two teams, and they're just looking for anything.
He was looking for the back line, but nice soccer ball kick to get the disengage. That TP didn't need to be channeled there. Now you're forced into the back line. Shockwave only on the Icelandic. The Rocket didn't do enough damage, but they didn't tag the damage onto Josu. As long as you can kite back for him, should be nice. With a pick there onto the jungle, you know what Ole Miss are calling for. They're calling for the Baron.
For Ole Miss right there, great coordination between your Uncle Sam and Shogo. Shogo flashes out of the pit. He's not able to get any damage done to him. And for OC, they were too far out from the fight. Your Uncle Sam lands a huge Emperor's Divide to push away the damage dealers. Can they do this now?
There's no Shockwave. There's no Rocket. How do you seal this if you are OC? Lots of damage onto Icelandic on the other side, but he's got a nice setup so they can secure the Dragon. Gen.G Baron buff for Ole Miss, but now it's the escape flash in. Whoa, where'd you go, Gorilla Jones pulling off a magic trick as he disappeared before our eyes. While Stray with the gold card flashing on M's nice breath of life to make sure the carries are getting out of there. With the Gen.G Baron buff on Ole Miss, they got the prize they wanted and they're gone.
They even get the flash out of Gorilla Jones, an unforced error there. I get why he's maybe going for it. The desperation's starting to sink in. It's that 6,000 gold lead here for Ole Miss. They don't get too many kills, but 10-7, you've got a 6,000 gold lead. You've got Dragon spawning in 2.5 minutes. The entirety of this Gen.G Baron buff is going to be used to push out lanes and then collapse inwards to try to set us up for Soul Point.
Ole Miss can easily set up this 1-3-1. Twisted Fate doesn't have Destiny Gate up yet, but the TP will be there soon for Uncle Sam, and I'm kind of glad the observers are showing. It's a Knight's Vow for Gorilla Jones. That's how far behind he has been, nearly at the flame horizon between him and Stray.
Can we just check how much gold? Because there's also Twisted Fate, right, who is going to be able to get additional gold based on crit chance and their passive.
4,000.
Oh my god, he has almost twice as much gold as Gorilla Jones. And it doesn't matter because remember, he's playing Cassante, so he just gets to be the cool Cassante champ despite this.
I don't know if that's the case this time around. We saw how quickly he died in that last fight.
Yeah. He also did flash into 5 people. If he does that, like, I feel like you should just die every time, okay?
Nice counsel there on the lantern grab to get a shutdown for a Josu. Beautifully done from Ems.
And it feels like great job that we got to see that coming out from both Ems and from Trinket, but is it maybe too late? Right? Like, it is a Caitlyn. You are going to be able to deal this, but we need to see more of that. If we saw more of these plays earlier on, OC could find themselves in a position where they're even in gold or they're ahead. But for the time being, OC, that's great. You made the pick happen. You need to be able to make it happen in a minute's time.
The thing is, for me, I think the play, even if, I would have liked that a minute or, a couple minutes ago, having the play work out at all is still going to be a plus. You're delaying the game, and you're allowing Jinx to continue to get more items. You're allowing Orianna to get more items. You're getting to that point where if they find that proper pick onto Uncle Sam and Shogo, there's not really much that Ole Miss can do. It is the AD Twisted Fate, and that is a little scary, but he's much stronger in the side lanes, in the 1v1s.
30 seconds before this, Drake. It's so tough. I mean, Ole Miss, they've got people coming back up. Let's take a look at our summoner spells here. Ajosu having that flash up, Ems having that flash up, so critical. And if maybe they can stall out OC or Ole Miss, we could see Oklahoma Christian have that flash available onto Trinket, and that would be something that they can try to punish as Shogo's still waiting for the summoner spell.
Ems finds Icelandic, who just jumps over the wall with a ward hop. Trey holding onto the gold card while Gorilla Jones focuses the other 3 back towards the mid lane. Everyone's split up, not really wanting to commit for these fights, but with Icelandic kind of far off from the rest of the team, I'm surprised we didn't see OC pull the trigger to try to get onto Shogo, get gold card onto Trinket. A little bit of damage, but it's mostly onto Gorilla Jones. The pull back in onto Trinket, flag and drag.
Oh, they found it!
Combo, but Shogo's out of there. Beautiful lantern, the Emperor's Divide helping to get the kill onto 1. It's only the jungle at the moment. They can kite back, but you gotta be careful because Ajosu relatively unscathed from the fight.
Look at Icelandic right now. He is a quarter HP. Your Uncle Sam similarly. Ajosu still has flash. Ghost is going to be ticking down anytime now.
There's no smite there for OC.
That was such a close fight for the side of OC. Ole Miss were on the precipice. It took one crit maybe going the wrong way, or even there, your Uncle Sam actually tanking the ultimate coming out from Jinx saves Icelandic from going down, getting up a reset for this Jinx. And we're just canceling recalls. Good job from Rhino.
I think this is going to be a kill. This is going to be a kill. That's a TP on the other side as well. It is a bit early. 2 minutes still left until the Baron. But it's now time to set up vision control around that pit.
Yeah, it might be early, but it just means that they get to spend more time pushing out these waves and trying to assault for turrets. So right now, your Uncle Sam gonna go top lane, push out this wave. Trinket has to be really careful with where he finds this engage. Yes, they have a shockwave available, but Shogo has the Ghost, has the Flash. They use it on Rhino instead.
I think
Baron
he's using
spawning
it
in
more
a
for
minute and
wave
a half,
clear.
but the timer should be fine.
I think it was more for wave clear, knowing that the turret was going to fall and trying to at least delay the inevitable so there's not even a crash onto the inhibitor turret itself. And with little mana, like you said, it's going to be back up by the time the Baron fight happens anyways.
Okay. Got a little bit of time here. Dragon probably not going to be an objective we're going to see too much of. If we do get to that soul point, I am very worried for Oklahoma Christian. And not to say that I'm not worried now, because
I was about to say, it's gonna
they're
be
in a spot where they can't match side lanes.
Right.
And there's a Baron.
If they're going to win this game, they have to wait for that dragon to spawn. So they are going to see it if they want to win this game. They'll only not see it if Ole Miss get the sweep, the 3-0, and move on to the round 8. It's really going to be on Oklahoma Christian University to contend around this Baron that spawns up in 30 seconds.
So let's see it. Oklahoma Christian backs against the wall. There are no more games for you to play after this. There's nothing waiting for you to try to hold you back. There's no double elim. It's one game between you and the end of your season. A program we didn't have a ton of expectations for, but making it a top 16 definitely impressive compared to their earlier split kind of results when we look at them in qualifiers, going 0-5 in Swiss. Very, very low expectations. A lot of teams kind of memeing on some of the players. I think specifically Gorilla Jones, someone who has had a lot of criticism. He's made some Twitter posts. All I'm going to say is they didn't land too well, but his running the Rift Combine definitely gained him a little bit of notoriety there. And this series so far, he's just been kind of outplayed in a lot of situations. But all of that can be erased with one good performance. History is written by the victors, and a lot of people will not remember the first half of this series if they're able to make the reverse sweep happen.
They're hoping for a miracle right now because they are split off. And look at Icelandic. We wanted to get that counter strike, but slowed down just enough so that both Trinket and Emps could get out of there. They'll be cuddling up together on their side of the river. And all the while, it's a flag and drag on Uncle Sam.
Nice.
Emper's divide. Where's the shockwave? Getting a lot on to Icelandic, but not the kill. Emps still far away from the rest of his team, and they are healed up. Uncle Sam, Icelandic chasing down. Almost picking up the kill, but the blast going right on top of Emps. He ain't going nowhere but the grave.
Woo!
Whoa.
And the rocket barely skids on by. Stray is still pushing on the bottom side.
What
Shogo
was that
has
crit?
no qualms. Headshot crit. Let's do it, boys.
And then flashing for it too. Shogo always steps up when it's needed. Those crits working beautifully all out from Gorilla Jones doing nothing. Kills abound for Ole Miss as they are bound for the round of 8. They will get to double elimination and show everyone why this collegiate program is to be feared and respected. Trinket just trying to delay, have a little bit of a cool play at the very end, but the 3-0 is there for Ole Miss with one final kill.
There it is. Shogo just wants to get back to finals. Nothing else matters to him at this point. This is just light work. This is a light pack coming out for Ole Miss. And a very dominant game. Nothing out of the ordinary. I think that the fact that we got to see them practice more of these lane swaps is really dangerous, because now they're getting into a situation where top 8, we're getting serious about our competition here, and other teams are going to have to start thinking, okay, how are we going to implement lane swaps? How are we going to deal with this? When we're talking about how strong bottom lane is for Ole Miss, getting Shogo and Rhino into a position at Gary, never a bad idea.
Pretty much. I mean, Shogo just is really good. I gotta say, all of Ole Miss was really firing on pretty much all cylinders. Everyone was looking really good at some point in this series, really showing the strength they are capable of, even looking just towards Stray in this top lane. You see that he had 2 games on Sion. You're like, oh, how is he showing off on this? Somehow he did it. Somehow he looked really good in this series.
For sure. And look, like everybody stood up. I think that we had a lot of really great performances. I do want to say one final goodbye over to Oklahoma Christian. They had a really awesome performance inside of their own conference. They were voted in, and I think that their win up against Bethany, while very entertaining, did show a lot of flaws, and we'll have to see what this team looks like. They have some great individual players that I hope that coming into qualifiers next split we get to see a little bit more of, and what this program looks like next year for the championship.
What do I do? So
I
what
will
do I
say
do?
this
I
as well.
do
If you
nothing
look at
and just
players
chill
in
here?
collegiate such as Scary, Jerry, and Zyko and how they leveled up their play from 2023 to 2024, you look at Icelandic and you look at Uncle Sam and how they've leveled up their gameplay in just a few months. if you put that effort, you put that energy in, you're capable of anything. So Oklahoma Christian University, I expect to see good things from you as long as you continue down the course, continue to put that practice in. But we are going to toss to a break ourselves, getting ready for an interview with the victorious Ole Miss. You won't want to miss it.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here with the victorious mid laner for Ole Miss. We've got your Uncle Sam. Martin, wait, okay, you got it. What's the cat's name?
It's Sam.
Screw the interview. What is it?
It's Sam.
Oh.
His name is Sam.
If you tune into the Twitch chat, I thought that was pure racism or whatever. We'll see what happens later. Martin, after seeing this game, coming into the series, I think there's a lot of expectations for you guys to stomp. Was there anything you guys had individually prepped for this series, or is it just more business as usual?
I just personally didn't really want to play against LeBlanc because that champion is so inflated. So like that was the only prep I think we genuinely had. The rest of it was just kind of, Old Miss does what Old Miss does.
Yes. Okay, Marty, I gotta ask now. You've made it into the top 8. You're no longer top 16 getting knocked out by Northwood. Individually, I want to give you your little bit of a moment here just because you have made a lot of improvements from last year. You obviously got most improved in qualifiers. Kind of talk to us, and I know we talked about it a little bit, but what have you done individually to make sure that you're up to snuff to make sure you guys win a championship?
Dude, I'm not going to lie. Chovy VODs are so broken.
Real.
They're so broken. That guy is the GOAT. If you just watch his VODs and you copy what he does, you're so set. But if you can't do it, that's just skill diff. I'm not gonna lie. But it's so broken. So you literally just study. I mean, bro, I played like 1,000 games this season just to be able to get to this point. Like,
I was gonna say you finally hit Challenger. I know we had that tweet earlier of you finally hitting Challenger.
Yeah.
So, it's really cool to see. Is there anybody else on your team that you would like kind of shout out? I know that a lot of players, or I would say specifically Icelandic, has also made a bit of a come up alongside you, and you guys are 2 of the remaining players from that original roster last year.
Yeah, and Rhino. Our KJ obviously is an absolute insane freak. Like you guys cannot put into words how well KJ does when he's locked in. I can't die to jungle ganks. No one can die to jungle ganks. He's like a hound dog. If you think that he doesn't know where jungle is, he knows. He pings it as he walks. Like he knows exactly where he is. It's insane. But I mean, him and Rhino, obviously, Rhino used to be a lot more quiet, and he just is such a good voice now in the game. Him and Shogo and Stray, that it's just over. It's just too good. The macro is just too amazing.
It's too. You guys are too. You're cooking too much over here. I did want to ask. Now that you've won this match, you are going to be going up against Northwood next weekend. Go ahead, start talking that trash. Get in there,
I will take what you took from me. You took it from me in the spring. You think I don't remember? You better have your fucking big boy pants on. Can I curse? You better have your big boy pants on.
You get one.
You better have your big boy pants on because I'm coming. Reppy. I'm coming for you.
Let's go. Yeah, as you should. Honestly, you guys have leveled up a lot throughout the season. And we had some people who were Marty doubters, myself included, coming into this year. I was ready for you guys to run it down, and I was proven wrong. You and the rest of the team have obviously leveled up a lot. Marty, I want to give you this last minute here to kind of do any shout-outs, anybody that you want to call out. If you want to do some social plugs, floor is yours.
Okay, shout out to my coach and my mom and my dad that are watching, and my little brother because they're all watching right now. Guys, if you miss my cat, you'll see him soon because I'll be back in December. And everyone on my team, obviously, because I love them. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I post my cat all the time, and I do little dances.
Oh yeah, wait, what? Do we know what TikTok dance you're gonna do for this one?
Nope. And I might not even do it. I might save it for Northwood because
you gotta save it for Northwood. Okay, you gotta save the social points.
They need to get danced on.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm locked in. Remember, follow Marty over on Martini Lepanini at the bottom there on the screen. And Marty, thank you for joining us, and good luck next week.
Thank you so much.
Let's bring back Magical. There we are. There we go. Magical. We had a lot of fun on that one.
I was dying. I was laughing so hard. This is why I wanted you to conduct that interview. Normally I would take it, but I had a feeling that you two would have really good energy, and that was great hearing from Uncle Sam there, and just how confident they are. I really am looking forward to that Northwood versus Ole Miss, the matchup next week. That is just based off that interview alone. I don't care if it ends up being a stomp. I am so excited for that series.
It's the freest bit of content that Marty just gave gave us. So again, thank you to your Uncle Sam for that one. And now we can actually take a look at our bracket here. Kind of teased it a little bit during that interview, but we are starting to finish up all of our broadcasts. I think we are the final one if SLU didn't already 3-0. Yeah, so it looks like they already took care of UCSD. They're getting close. This is happening on the Running the Rift stream if you want to go check that out.
Oh, wait,
we are filling out our top 8.
I hate to tell everyone, it's actually not going to be anyone playing against Northwood. There's none there. Yeah, sorry. So,
well, no, it's just because it's not updated. It'll get populated. Either way, we do have our top 8 matchups. So, Magical, off top, is there any matchup that in particular you are looking forward to next weekend?
Ole Miss versus Northwood, for sure, just based off that interview. That, I think, is going to be really hype. But I also think that UST versus SLU will be really exciting, too. I think those are going to be the 2 series I'm most looking forward to out of them. I think USC, obviously, being the team that has won twice in a row, coming into their 3rd year, top 8, I think that is going to be really good for them. But SLU is such a good team. And the fact that St. Thomas is the number 2 seed out of the teams in that bracket, and SLU is number 1, should already indicate why that's so exciting.
Exactly. Coming out from the South, UST definitely looking to be a little bit more dominant, but SLU, I mean, to be fair, SLU have had very easy competition coming up to this point. Iona from the MAAC coming in. You have UCSD coming in from the West. I think it's pretty interesting to see. Again, I have to agree with you. I think this right side of the bracket is significantly more competitive and has much better storylines, I think, coming into those games. So really cool to see. Again, congratulations to Ole Miss and all the teams that were winning today. We had a lot of great games, I think, across the sphere. Even the games at the end of yesterday, that Fisher versus Colorado one. Glad I got it right, but also I'm really excited to see what Fisher can do. Unfortunately, they are going against Maryville, and we have double elim now. So any of these teams that lose this match are immediately going to go into lower bracket.
And that's why I'm so excited about this. I love double elimination, especially with this kind of bracket. I agree with having it in top 8, because if you try to do that with every team, that's just going to take
top 16,
forever.
we're going to have a long-ass tournament, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, this is the perfect time. You do feel a little bad for some of the teams that are just outside of that, but the top 8 that we have going into this one definitely are the deserved ones. I can't think of one team that are like, they shouldn't be there. Every one of them have looked really good going into their round of 16 matchups, as well as the round of 32 beforehand. So going into this top 8, I think will be really interesting to see which teams are going to be at the top of the table if our predictions are right there with Ole Miss and Maryville, or maybe we'll have USD pull off that upset and beat SLU, or SLU be the team that takes down Ole Miss and gets into the finals against Maryville.
That would definitely be a pretty interesting. If we get any upsets during this, I think that we're going to have a really fun tournament. We're already having one where this top 16 bracket. Honestly, I'm going to do a little bit of shilling. Dakar, thank you for this bracket. This bracket is so good. There are some, there's some matchups that obviously have to happen. And Dakar's not the only person, but the people who came up with this tournament format, being able to have, we're getting rid of best of 1s. We have best of 3s right into round of 32, and then immediately round of 16, we get best of 5s onwards. Beautiful. And a double elim bracket. One of the best formats we've gotten for collegiate, and one that we definitely needed coming into this year with so many top-level teams.
And it just makes it so exciting for next week and what we can expect. And having these games be a little bit stompy in the round of 16 is honestly, I think, a good showing. And it might sound weird, but it shows us just how good our top 8 teams are.
Yes.
It shows you why we've been hyping up these teams. It's like, there's not one team that's here, you go, oh man, they didn't look good against this X team. They didn't look good against Y team. No, every one of them looked really clean in their performances, which makes this round of 8 with double elimination have even more merit to it. But we are getting close to the end of our stream, so I think we should kind of give a shout out really quick. We have the GoFundMe. We can bring up that link and show everybody, because that is brought to you by a lot of the people you see at the top of the screen up here. Everyone, you have all these names going down, and you got the link right there.
We also have our sponsors, Gen G and the University of Mississippi, or Ole Miss. Thank you to both of them for making sure that this stream is able to be possible. And we also have our individual donors that we have to thank. It's a pretty long list, so we can just start going on down this, Magical.
Yeah, let's go for it. So we got Raz there at the top there. We got Garrett and Benton Patterson as well. JT, Tiza out there. We got Greg Adler, Paul Starr, Sander Howe, Sean Shannon, Clarkey, Powell Wiseman, Manuel Sanchez, Colomer, Gordo Cast, Yanni. We got Slayer. We got Shibby. We got Angie. We have Quacks, and we have Beatdown.
Yes, and then we also have Dakar coming in, Ian Ford, Kellex. We also have Random Minion Caster, Aaron Lee, Alan Ignacio, Peter Erickson, Andrew Franklin, Ryoklu coming in, Beverly Rospico, and Josh Sides, Bo from Winthrop. Thank you to all of the people who are donating. And again, that donation link for the GoFundMe is going to be active all month long. And so either whether or not you can actually donate is great. Showing up for these streams is awesome. Being able to also share any of those links, whether it be the GoFundMe or any of the streams, is greatly appreciated.
And also, shout out to any anonymous donor that we have as well. We have quite a few of them. But thank you so much for helping out with this. It's great being able to bring these collegiate games to everyone, have the cast that we're putting on right now, as well as over on Running the Rift. Winthrop had their series as well. We have all these different places trying to show everyone collegiate, so thank you again so much.
Exactly. And that's kind of the end of our show. We got through all of our games. We had all of the series going on for the day. And finally, we get to rest out on the end of the round of 16. We are now moving in next weekend. Will be the kind of the same schedule, but it just means more competitive games. The games are only going to get more and more tough to kind of get through the whole series. And honestly, I want us to see more 5 games because we've been getting 3-0s. We got a lot of 3-1s, and that's to be expected at the beginning of a bracket. We're getting to that, top level competition.
This is where we should start expecting the games to get closer, having more 4 or 5 game series and our best of 5s. But thank you, everybody, for joining us here today. That's going to be it for the broadcast for now. We do have more games, I believe, on Running the Rift. I think they still are playing at the moment. I can't remember if they have actually ended yet. So hopefully we'll check that out. But thank you again for joining us. If we don't have any more games, we will see you next week for more College League of Legends. We'll see you then.